Hi, Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hey, Dean. So tell us a little bit about your experience with the Confident Leader formula.
Sure. So I'm the executive director of the Center for Exceptional Leadership at St. Norbert College, and we use the authentic leader process and formula and the assessments that come with it in almost every program that we have at the college, from foundational leaders all the way up through leaders that are in the C-suite. And we see incredible results.
Yeah, and so what's the process? If I were a someone interested in learning more about this, why would I do this? I mean, there's a million programs out there. There's a million people, talking about leadership development. Why is the Confident Leader formula different than anything else? Why would it be helpful for
Yeah,
someone?
great question. The reason that we use it is, and the reason that it works so well for us is because we're working with new and emerging leaders all the way up through the C-suite. And the one commonality between all those leaders is the stories that we tell ourselves. And the stories that we often tell ourselves are toxic. And we say things to ourselves that we probably would never say out loud to other people. And what the confident leader formula has really helps people with is, how do we take and stop being this inner critic who is always second guessing ourselves, to becoming this confident leader, confident communicator. Um, and I think what we see is, as you move from, now, will it completely stop, you always being that hard on yourselves? No, because we're always going to be hard on ourselves. But the stories, we're going to give ourselves more forgiveness, which in turn is going to help our relationships. It's going to help us get more motivation and influence out of our teams. And honestly, what we see is really an unleashed power of team in terms of innovation and conversation and problem solving and looking at opportunities. And I think that's what organizations are looking for, especially in really the dynamics of today's markets and today's business environment. Having confident leaders that know their role in that confidence continuum, and knowing that if I exhibit these overconfident behaviors, I'm going to repel people. If I exhibit, really underconfident behaviors, I'm not going to have the hard conversations. I'm going to ignore the things um, that we need to address. But really finding that overall level of individual and team authentic confidence, I think is really a unique power that not everybody taps into.
Awesome. And so what would you say is the biggest outcome, or what happens in organizations when leaders engage in this process?
Yeah, great. I think what ends up happening, what I've observed with participants who have gone through our program, is the leaders around them notice a difference. So if an individual goes through it, people say, in fact, there's two transformations that I've seen. We see uh, individuals who maybe waited to say things, that waited to have the meeting after the meeting to express their opinion, are now engaging. They are bringing great ideas forward. They may have a naturally underconfident behaviors, but now they're exhibiting more authentic confidence and having confidence in the things that they say, and that's a difference. And what's really interesting, I was in a class yesterday, and there was a participant that was definitely on the opposite side, was exhibiting a lot of overconfident behaviors. And one of his coworkers, she said, I have been so excited to see the transformation in him, because he shows up completely different, which has brought the tension level of our team down, because he's no longer dominating every conversation. He no longer has to be the one that's always right. Um, And, even in talking to that leader, he said that self-talk that he's giving himself is, hey, let others shine in the moment. There's other opinions besides my own, and it has completely changed the dynamic of the team and the relationships within that team. It's
Yeah. And when the relationships improve to that level, what happens?
well, I'll give you, I've been doing a lot of reading lately, and Gallup does some amazing work on team dynamics and engagement in the workplace. And the most recent study in early 2022 said that only 33% of workers feel engaged at work. And engagement absolutely impacts things like financial performance, safety, innovation, and other things, because people don't, if they're not engaged and they don't feel like they're part of that team, it's going to impact all kinds of things. It's also going to impact retention. If I don't feel like if I don't feel like I really belong here, I'm not going to stay here. And so at the root of a lot of that is confidence. I'm either underconfident and unable to say things in a room of big voices, or I am one of the big voices and I'm not allowing others to shine. And having the ability to recognize the impact that I'm having on others is huge. And so, this idea of having a better sense of self, quieting the inner critic, becoming a confident communicator and listener, that's the impact this has. It has far-reaching impacts beyond just individual relationships. It has far-reaching impact on performance.
Well, thank you, Dean. Dean is as we mentioned, is the executive director for the Center for Exceptional Leadership at St. Norbert College. Thank you for your time here today, Dean, and we'll talk to you again soon.
You bet.